Hey friends, welcome back. It's another episode of My Road to Recovery, and I want to thank you for joining me today. I am actually changing the format of the way I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be uploading on the Friday that's the actual current date, because what I've been doing is I would record like today, and then I would take the video and edit it during the week and have it upload the following Friday, and then it's becoming like a week behind, so when you watch it, it's the previous Friday, and it was starting to confuse me on this end of recording. I'm like, what is this, week 8, week 9, wait a minute, what? And so I'm going to actually record and upload so that the day that you see it, it's the actual date on the calendar. So today is June 4th, and I will update you on things that have been happening since the last video. So last video I was talking about my son's graduation. I had family come in. My mom flew in from Michigan, and my in-laws came up from Southern Virginia, and it was pretty low key on our part. We planned something with 5 homeschool graduates, 5 other families, and we had it in a local church. What we usually do is that we go to our state home educators association. They host a graduation ceremony every year in our state capital, and it's a big ceremony. All the kids that are homeschooled, that are graduating, they all graduate together. So there was like 300 there, and we did that with my daughter when she graduated in 2019, and we were able to invite more family. We were able to invite aunts and uncles and things like that. We were allowed, I think, 11 or 12 tickets, something like that. So it was perfect for us, and we got to meet some new people and just kind of experience that whole thing. Well, this time around, because of COVID, they scaled everything way back, and so we, from the number of graduates to the number of family that we were allowed to have, and nobody else was going to be able to witness it. So I have been a planner, an event planner for 20 years, and I said, you know what, I know how to plan events. I'll just go ahead and plan one here in my area. I'm sure there are other families. And we had a huge crowd of friends and family, and it was a beautiful ceremony. That was really fun. It was unique. A lot of planning, a lot of work. And you know what? We have had warm summer days. It's been, in the low 80s. And then come Memorial Day weekend, it was cold. I mean, it was cold and rainy. I mean, cold. It was, not like freezing, but it was like, low 50, between 45 and 50 degrees. It was cold. And so that was a little disappointing, because where we went to eat afterwards was outside. It was outside, but we were going to be able to utilize the outside parts, and we couldn't because it was just too cold. Everybody got chilly, and we were kind of getting grumpy. So we're actually going to have a graduation open house for Jimmy at our house, and invite, our church family and more of our friends and everything, and just, have burgers and play games and all kinds of stuff. So we'll just have a big party then, and that will be, the culmination of the graduation ceremony stuff. The weekend did not get off to a good start because we scheduling and all right, and I'm just gonna say, I'm sharing my stuff here. Going into this, I knew what Friday was going to be like. I knew, I had a lot about picking up my mom from the airport, and we had to set up, we had to rehearse, and just kind of get everything ready for the next day. And I was already tired and carrying extra stress, just planning everything. And I wanted to have Friday to just kind of relax, and I didn't want to have an extra thing on my plate or have to worry about anything else or going anywhere else. And he just completely disregarded that, and allowed his parents to come, they just showed up at our door. And so he allowed them to come in, and he just totally disregarded whatever I was going through, and what my kids were going through. None of us were expecting any company and things like that. And it just became a really bad situation, and it could have been avoided. So that did not help a lot of my stress levels. So I had to take a minute and de-stress that weekend, because I did not want to take away from any of the special time that, you know, family did come in and into town to see Jimmy and us. Okay, had to put the phone down for a minute. So but yeah, so anyway, that I totally lost track of what I was saying. But that did not start the weekend off very well, and so that was disappointing. But anyway, I got through it. We were able to have an enjoyable weekend in spite of everything. And then this past week has been kind of crazy. Our daughter started her first job, our youngest daughter, and she's working at a cafe. It's called the Daily Buzz. I love the name of the cafe. And she went through her training and she is officially a barista. Let me try to get that out. Blah, blah, blah. So she's excited. She's having a great time. She's still learning everything. You know, she's got to learn the whole menu, but she makes an excellent buttered coffee. They call it keto buttered coffee. And I'm telling you, I have never had one that from a restaurant that is this good. So I don't know what their secret is, but it is awesome. So, and speaking of coffee, at home I have started to use mushroom powder in my coffee. So there is a powder that has a mix of 10 mushrooms in it, and I put one little scoop in my coffee. I blend it up though, because boy, if you don't blend it, it can get chunky and nasty. And I add also creamer in there, and a little splash of vanilla, and that seems to help tone down the mushroomy flavor, because it can make your stuff taste kind of earthy. That's a good word, earthy. And so I lost another pound. I believe I am down 10 pounds. I will go check. I have just completely ignored exercising and doing the DDPY yoga. So I need to change that. I really need to get started with that. So, gotta get some air up in here. So, that reminds me also, I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background. There is this tone. Can you hear it? And I have a video clip for you. The cicadas, and I forget what the brood is. It's brood X. They come out every 17 years. And so they emerged about, a week and a half ago. And this noise is just going on all the time in the background. Now you get into closer areas, like maybe closer into town where it's heavily wooded, or just even like driving on the highway is crazy. They are flying all around, and I've got bug splats all over the window. It's nasty. They're big old bugs with big beady eyes. And so I'm sure maybe you know what cicada sounds like. They have that little noise that they make all the time. Well, it's just so interesting because all of them have emerged, and all of them together make this tone that you'll hear in the video clip. No, that's not aliens. Those are cicadas. They have emerged in my area, and they have this general sound of, hear that in the background? And then you can hear some up here, they're, yeah. So yeah, like, isn't that crazy? It's just, I think they'll be out for about a month. They live underground for 17 years. They emerge, they come up, and then they have a little exoskeleton and like a whole shell, and they emerge out of that. Reminds me of a butterfly, actually. And then they emerge out of that, and then they let their wings dry, and then they fly around and live and party. And then they mate, they lay their eggs, and then on the trees pretty much. And the eggs, when they hatch, that larva will go down into the ground, and then that's where they stay for 17 years. It's like, wow, what a life. Oh gosh, I'm gonna finish the rest of this video inside. Okay, back inside. So So on top of the weekend uh, stress, I had a major person from my church worship team just message and say she was going to be stepping out for a while. Now, I knew that she would be, and I had made plans for her stepping down because she is in her last, I think her last month of pregnancy. I'm pretty sure, yeah, because she's due this month. And I could tell she was having a hard time just kind of being comfortable, you know? And so I was prepared to for them to be gone, but I had no warning, and she just messaged and said she was going to be doing this. Oh, goodness. And it really was, I just sat there that day that I got the message, and I was, you know, my mom flew home that day. We just came off of this emotional weekend, and then I get this, and I just kind of sat there and just didn't do anything all day because I was just so disheartened, discouraged. I just, you know, and the people that have stepped down have said that they were stepping down because they felt overwhelmed and, you know, with things in their life or whatever. But I think I'm not begrudging them that at all. But I think that because it just happened, they just announced that they were doing this and didn't actually talk to me first about it, where I might have been able to help them with the overwhelm in their life, you know, or get a little feedback and figure out, well, is the worship team, you know, is there something I'm doing that is creating the overwhelm? Is it overwhelming being on the worship team? I don't know. I guess it's just differences in personalities and such. I mean, I understand that we get busy. And part of me is, you know, let's figure out how we can manage our time so we're spending our time wisely, and figuring out some things with, maybe it's, you know, is it childcare? Is it, you know, do you need to ask for help somewhere else? How can I help you? And it just makes me feel like I'm just helpless in this situation, and everybody just leaves, which makes me feel overwhelmed at this point. So anyway, after I had thought about it and prayed about it, and maybe I could have prayed more, I don't know, but just allowing everyone some breathing room, and it'll give me time to regroup. But we have some good news. We have some things coming up this weekend, which is tomorrow, is my daughter's dance recital that she has been working on. She has two classes, a hip hop class and a lyrical class. And so she has two recitals. But with COVID and in my area, there were a lot of places that the studio normally performs in that are saying, nope, we're not having anything. We don't want a gathering of people. Although the restrictions have been lifted in my state, and as well as mask mandates and things like that have been lifted. The studio was able to find a place, which is a very large church that has a stage. But the church has been very restrictive about people and mask wearing. We can't even watch the whole show. So we can only go in and watch the number that my daughter is in, and then we have to leave. And then we come back for her next number, and then we have to leave. But in the end, we are thankful that they are even allowing us to come in here, and that these kids get to have a recital. They didn't get to have anything last year. I was even just so thankful that we even found a studio that was doing classes in person. The kids would come in a mask, they would take it off for dance class, and they would put it back on and leave. Just so thankful for that. All of these updates, thank you for staying with me so far, because I had a lot to update you on, and we are current. So like when you see the video next time, it's going to be January, oh my gosh, it'll be June, what is it, 7 days from today, 11th. So that'll be that, and I thank you for following and supporting me. I can't thank you enough for that, and I will catch you next week. Y'all have a great week, and until next time, peace, love, healing, y'all.